Are we any closer to understanding the age of the universe? Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of modern science and ancient scriptures to uncover the secrets of the universe's age. In this video, we'll be exploring the age of the universe in modern science and how it compares to the age calculated in the Puranic scriptures. The concept of a static and eternal universe was widely accepted by Western scientists until the 1930s, when empirical evidence for an expanding universe indicated a finite age. We'll discuss the scientific evidence for the age of the universe and the calculations made by modern scientists, as well as the Puranic perspective on the age of the universe. The age of the universe in modern science. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, the majority of Western scientists were attracted to the concept of a static and eternal universe because it circumvented theological questions regarding creation of the universe. A universe that is eternal doesn't require a creator. So strong was this mindset that, as late as the year 1916, no less of a scientist than Albert Einstein artificially modified his equations of general relativity to portray the universe as static and eternal. In the 1930s, after astronomers had discovered strong empirical evidence that our universe is expanding, which indicates that it must have come into existence at a finite time in the past, Einstein admitted that this artificial modification was the greatest blunder of his career. Starting in the 1920s, scientists discovered that most galaxies are moving away from our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, at a rate roughly proportional to the distance from the Milky Way. Using this data to extrapolate backwards in time allowed scientists to make a rough estimate of the number of years that has elapsed since the beginning of the universe, which turned out to be around 10 to 20 billion years. Thus, the 1930s ushered in a major revolution in cosmological thinking in the West. The universe has a finite age. This meant that the theologically loaded question regarding the origin of the universe could no longer be circumvented, because it was now supported by rigorous scientific observation. This produced considerable consternation in scientific circles, but the evidence for a universe of finite age was too strong to be brushed aside. This consternation should not be misconstrued to imply that the finite age of the universe is to be uncritically accepted as proof of the existence of God. In recent times, a number of atheistic physicists, see, for example, Hawking and Mlodinow, 2010, Perlov and Vilenkin, 2017, claim that the spontaneous generation of a universe is supported by our current understanding of the laws of physics. This means that, according to these physicists, we aren't obliged to postulate the existence of God to account for the origin of the universe. The laws of physics alone are adequate to account for it. Refinements in measuring the Hubble constant, the constant of proportionality between rate and distance, led to more accurate estimates for the age of the universe, but, even by the 1980s, the best scientific estimates for the age of the universe still ranged from 11 to 17 billion years. Fowler, 1987. In the 1990s, the best estimates still ranged from 11 to 15 billion years. Friedman, 2000. The Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe revolutionized cosmic chronology by accurately measuring the properties of the cosmic microwave background radiation over the full sky. In the year 2003, the best estimate for the age of the universe using Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe data was 13,700 plus or minus 200 million years, Spergel et al., 2003, and in the year 2011 the best estimate was 13,750 plus or minus 110 million years, Komatsu et al., 2011. Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe has been succeeded by an even more sophisticated satellite, the Planck satellite. The current estimate based on Planck data is 13,801 plus or minus 24 million years, Akanim et al., 2018. The Puranic age of the universe. To appreciate the Puranic calculation for the age of our universe, it is essential to understand the enormous scale of Brahma's life. Brahma lives for 100 of his years, each of which has 360 days and nights. A day or a night of Brahma is called a kalpa. The lifetime of Brahma is divided into two halves, which are called paradas. By such days and nights characterized by the movement of time, even the maximum life of Brahma, consisting of 100 years, comes to an end. The 100 years of Brahma's life are divided into two parts, paradas, the first half and the second half. The first half of the duration of Brahma's life is already over, and the second half is now current. Each parada is equivalent to 50 years of Brahma's life. The following verse from the Vayu Purana states an important relationship between the constituents of the universe and the parada. That which is immortal and eternal, along with cosmic vibration, is dissolved. The past, present and future constituents, of the universe, are calculated to last up to a parada, a divine number. This verse states that the constituents of the universe last only for a parada, implying that Sri Prakrti performs the elemental reconstruction twice in the life of Brahma. The first time Sri Prakrti does this is at the beginning of his first parada, and the second time is at the beginning of his second parada. See Figure 20. The elemental reconstruction at the beginning of the first parada is universally acknowledged by Puranic scholars. A unique contribution of this book is the discovery that there was an elemental disintegration and reconstruction at the end of the first parada. In his commentary on the Bhagavata Purana, 3.12.3, Srila Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakura, an eminent 17th-century Puranic scholar, confirms the fact that all living entities were absorbed into the body of Sri Vishnu at the end of the first parada. Brahma and others, who live for the entirety of Brahma's life, entered into the body of Sri Vishnu at the end of the first parada of Brahma's life. As discussed in the previous section, this entering of all living entities, including Brahma, into the body of Sri Vishnu, takes place exclusively during Prakritika disintegration. Thus, there must also have been a complete disintegration at the end of the first parada. Since Brahma lives for 2 paradas, there must be a saga reconstruction immediately after the Prakritika disintegration at the end of his first parada. Is there Puranic support for a saga reconstruction at the beginning of the second parada? The answer is yes. According to the Puranas, Brahma appears on a cosmic lotus, Padma in Sanskrit, at the beginning of his life, at which time he constructs the lokas in the stem of the cosmic lotus. Therefore, the first day in Brahma's life is called the Padma Kalpa. The Bhagavata Purana states that the lokas were reconstructed in the stem of the cosmic lotus in the Kalpa immediately after the end of Brahma's first parada. Therefore, this Kalpa is also called the Padma, lotus, Kalpa. The Kalpa after the end of the first half of Brahma's life is called the Padma Kalpa because the lokas were constructed in the stem of the cosmic lotus in the navel lake of Hari. The reconstruction of all the lokas in the cosmic lotus takes place exclusively during the saga reconstruction. Since all the lokas were reconstructed at the beginning of the second parada, this reconstruction of lokas must have been preceded by reconstruction of the fundamental elements of the universe at that time. The saga reconstruction at the beginning of the second parada is corroborated by the commentary of Srila Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakura on the Bhagavata Purana. Mahaloka, Jnana Loka, Tapa Loka and Satya Loka, which are commonly believed to remain intact until the end of the second parada of his life, were, in fact, dissolved at the end of the first parada of Brahma's life. Those who live until the end of Brahma's life on those lokas entered into the body of Sri Vishnu, along with Brahma, during the night at the end of the first parada of Brahma's life. Puranic scholars say that the first day in the second parada of Brahma's life is called the Sveta Viraha or Padma Kalpa. The essential point in the above commentary is that the Brahmanda, which is partially disintegrated at the beginning of each night of Brahma, was completely disintegrated at the end of the first half of Brahma's life, the first parada, and then reconstructed at the beginning of the second parada. In summary, according to the above verses and the associated discussion, the universe was completely disintegrated, Prakritika, at the end of the last day of the first parada. Since the duration of Brahma's life had not yet expired, the reconstruction of the fundamental elements, saga, began immediately after the disintegration, and Brahma reappeared on the top of the cosmic lotus. As discussed above, we are currently in the second parada of Brahma's life. The Puranas agree that we are currently in the first day of this parada. According to this verse, we are currently in the first day of the second parada of Brahma's life. Since the universe was disintegrated at the end of the last day of the first parada of Brahma's life, in other words, at the end of the previous day of Brahma, the fundamental elements of the universe were reconstructed at that time. Since we are currently in the first day of the second parada, Sri Prakrti must have performed elemental reconstruction during the first night of the second parada. Each kalpa is preceded by a pratisamdi, which is the transition period between consecutive kalpas. Therefore, according to the Puranas, Sri Prakrti began the elemental reconstruction at the beginning of the pratisamdi of the previous kalpa. In other words, at the end of Brahma's previous day, the elemental reconstruction of the universe began. As calculated in the other video, Life Cycle of the Sun, the previous kalpa ended 4,562.784 million years ago. A kalpa lasts 8,640 million years and a pratisamdi, along with its Manvantara Samdhya, lasts 616.896 million years. Adding 8,640, 616.896 and 4,562.784 yields 13,819.68 million years. Thus, according to the Puranas, Sri Prakrti began elemental reconstruction 13,819.68 million years ago. What the Puranas call the reconstruction of the elements, modern scientists call the origin of the universe. Thus, Western scientific estimates for the age of the universe over the last 30 years have monotonically approached the Puranic date of 13.82 billion years, which was unequivocally stated thousands of years ago in the Puranas. In conclusion, the age of the universe has been a topic of great interest and debate for centuries. Modern science has allowed us to measure the age of the universe through empirical evidence, and the latest scientific estimates indicate that the universe is around 13.8 to 13.9 billion years old, which is in line with the Puranic calculation of 13.82 billion years. While this is a remarkable coincidence, it is important to remember that scientific evidence is always subject to change and refinement as new discoveries are made. It is also important to note that the age of the universe does not necessarily provide proof or disproof of the existence of God. While some may see the age of the universe as evidence of a creator, others may argue that the laws of physics alone are sufficient to account for the origin of the universe. Ultimately, the age of the universe is just one piece of the puzzle in understanding the cosmos and our place in it. Regardless of one's beliefs, the study of the age of the universe is a fascinating and ongoing field of research that offers us a glimpse into the mysteries of the cosmos. Through the combined efforts of scientists and scholars, we may continue to uncover new insights and revelations about the universe and the forces that govern it. Thanks for watching this video on the age of the universe. We hope that you found this information informative and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. We also encourage you to leave a comment below with your thoughts and opinions on the topic. Your feedback helps us to create better content for our viewers. Lastly, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.